What's the solution
Right.
to solving this issue with
I don't think there is ever going
men
to be a
having
solution.
side pieces? Because the nature of a man, I think most men are always going to want to have more than one sexual partner. So what's a good solution to keep men from cheating other than just being disciplined or for religious reasons or
Causing divorce and
you know,
stuff.
yeah, you know, like what's a good solution? Hello guys, it's the Elber's Journey.
Yes, it's us again. Guys, if it's your first time ever watching us, then we are the Elvis Journey. We post family related content like
Family living, a lot of vlogging. We give you guys a little bit a look inside of our kind of daily lives.
right.
We
Exactly.
even have health and wellness type stuff that we do. As far you know, we started the juicing journey here recently. So yeah, we try to incorporate basically average family, average couple type stuff.
So it's more of a bit of everything
Right,
related
right.
to family content. So if you are the type who likes this kind of videos, then please subscribe. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Okay, so what are we doing today?
Today we're going to touch on a topic that has been circulating the internet for a
Right.
while now. Kind of a controversial topic, I would say,
Very.
between like couples or married couples, and yeah. So some people might get a little, don't get offended or don't get,
It's very controversial. We have been debating on this particular topic for a long time. So today we decided to put it out there and get you guys' opinion about it, what you think. So don't forget to leave your opinions in the comment section. We will read and then react to it later.
Okay, so let's get into it. The the topic is about cheating. You know, most women do not want their husbands to have another woman or side chick. Most people they get offended when the husband is cheating, and the question is, would you like your husband to tell you that they are cheating or not? Would that make a difference? If they tell you that they are cheating, is it going to make a difference? Are you going to accept him for who he is? Because we have some men, they have to let go of themselves, like they have to bury certain parts of themselves, like having multiple women just to please their wives. So if your husband is bold enough to tell you that he has a side chick or he wants to have a side chick, would you allow him to
Yeah.
have?
I think the question is, I mean, that's kind of a loaded question,
Right.
because if a man is telling you or telling a woman that he can't be physically with just one woman in a relationship, it's kind of going against the nature of who he is as a man. If he tells a woman that at the beginning, and that's kind of ironed out at the beginning, then it's not really cheating if the woman accepts that and accepts the man for who he is, because he's being honest up front.
You think so? So at that point, what is it called if it's not cheating?
That would be more of, I would say, ethical non-monogamy. If both or all parties are consenting to be okay with that. Because if a woman accepts the man at the beginning, if he tells her that, he doesn't want to be with one woman sexually for the rest of his life, if that's not who he is, and a woman still decides to be with him, be in a relationship with him, and then eventually marry that man, then she's in the know. And it's not cheating. Cheating is, I would say,
Yeah, I was about to ask that. So when is it considered cheating? What is cheating?
It's considered
to you?
cheating when the other person is not in the know and things are being done behind his spouse's or his partner's back, and the person is just not in the know, and then you're sexually dealing with somebody sexually and not telling the person, and you're being dishonest about it, and then that's when you can't trust a person, and then trust brings a whole another issue to the relationship or to the marriage. But if you're being open about it, and if you're being honest and you tell the person, especially before you do it. Now, if you say you're not going to be, if you're going to be monogamous, and then you go double back, and then you do something anyways with somebody else sexually,
Right.
and then you tell your spouse, it's still cheating because you already did it without telling your spouse. you know.
Okay, so let's look at this scenario. There is a situation whereby the man will not talk about he wanting to have like multiple women
Right.
from the start. Some men, they will not say anything.
Yeah.
And then 2 years into the marriage, 3 years into the marriage, then they will start showing some
Right.
signs that they have or they want to have it. And then if the wife comes to know and they are not happy about it, like, do you
That's a tough conversation. Things like that happen all the time in marriages.
Right.
Especially for both men and women, but I think more so for the men because, well, we're different when it comes to the amount of sex and how many partners we want to have, sexually. And then our body, our biology is different from you guys's. But I think a lot of times men suppress their sexual needs to please the woman that they want to be in a long-term relationship with, to please the woman. But they're
Right.
not being real with themselves or the nature of who they are.
right?
Because men, they'll get shamed for it, or the woman might say, "Oh, I don't want to." No, I'm not going to be in a relationship with a man like that. If you can't be just for me, or if you don't have eyes just for me, then I don't want to be in a relationship with a man like that. So a lot of men tend to suppress that, and they can't be honest with the woman. But I think if a
Right.
man is honest with the woman, and you can give the woman the option to choose and say, okay, do I want to be with this type of man in a long-term relationship? I think that's more respectful. I think it'll be more of effective way to for people to vet to see who they want to be with long term, because the woman will actually have the option to say, okay, well, I know the nature of this man. He's going to desire more than one woman sexually. Can I deal with this
Right.
from moving forward?
Right.
So I think men should be
So
more
it's
straightforward.
fear.
Yes, fear. Yeah, it's
fear of losing the person.
right.
Okay,
Or
so
being shamed for it,
Right,
or it's like
rejected.
men are kind of scared to be masculine nowadays.
Right.
I think society kind of has made it a little difficult for men to want to be masculine, be their true selves, and say, okay, this is not
you
my
think
nature.
having a multiple woman is being your true self?
I think for most men desire more, like that. We desire more than one woman sexually. Now, as far as being in a relationship and being married, that's different. But sexually, I think most men always desire more than one woman. Like, I think it's just kind of in our nature.
Right.
Yeah, men can suppress it. We can be disciplined, and we do it for different reasons, whether it's like for our religion or, or whether some men just say, hey, this is my woman or my wife, and I respect her, and
Right.
I don't want to lose my family, or I don't want to risk losing everything just because of my sexual needs. So they suppress it.
So my question to you, women out there watching us, so if your man is bold enough to tell you, are you going to accept him for who he is or not? So what do you prefer? Do you prefer him to let you know that he is cheating, or he wants to have a partner, or you don't want to know at all? Like, this is very difficult.
Yeah, I think it can be an uncomfortable
Either way,
conversation.
it's so comfortable.
I don't know. I think most women, they say they want to know,
Right.
but I think a lot of times they don't really want to know.
And some women, they'll be
Yeah,
like, if you do it, I'll also do it.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
that point, I feel like you are not like hurting the man, but you are hurting yourself instead.
Yeah,
Because-
I mean, it depends on how you value yourself.
Right.
Some people just see sex as a pleasure thing, like. But I think when a woman gives herself to a man, it's a little bit more deeper.
Right. True.
When because when a woman gives her body to a man, it's way more involved as far as like emotions and stuff like that. And then, I think it's easier for men to kind of detach from, like, once they have sex with a woman.
Yeah.
And they climax, then they kind of come back to reality, and then, but women, to even get to the point to where they want to have sex with a man, they have to be mentally stimulated and emotionally stimulated.
And then physically.
That means they're more invested,
Right.
so that's why it's more of a risk as far as like a woman giving herself to a man when she's already in a relationship, because what if she likes the second option more, I think men kind of have an easier time compartmentalizing
Right.
2 women or more than one woman when it comes to sex. But